Well, hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for joining us for another episode of We're Under Investigation. Appreciate everybody joining us again. We have, I think, for the very first time, a returning guest. So, everybody, welcome Bridget. Bridget is back. Hi, Bridget.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
So, this is kind of cool because the first time we did our episode earlier in the year, well, actually, it wasn't this year, it was last year, technically.
Correct.
If
Yeah.
we're looking at dates. That interview was over the phone. You
Yeah.
called in. That's because you live like 1,000 miles away.
Yeah. It was a little far. Not today.
How long did it take you to get here today?
About an hour and a half.
Oh, dear Lord.
Maybe a little more.
Now
Hit some red lights.
Now you're making me feel bad. Oh, no, but it's awesome. You are the first person to ever come back for a second visit. And that is because during that first interview, we had a conversation that was like, we want to follow up because you were right in the middle of a really big transition point in your life.
Yep.
And I felt that it was going to work out well. I felt that. And it did.
It did.
It really did. So, but before we dive into what you're doing these days, let's go back and kind of hash through, your first interview that we conducted. Because you've had a, I guess the easiest way to say it, kind of a roller coaster of a career, with various things, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But is that a probably a nice way to say it?
Roller coaster. Yes. I think that's a good way to put it. It's been
We can laugh now.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
We can laugh now, but I mean, I think in the middle of it, that was some dark times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So let's kind of rehash a little bit. We won't like duplicate the entire first episode that we did, but I will tell you, for anybody who's listening, if you want details on Bridget's story, go back and find it. Was it a 2-part?
Yep. It was a 2-part. I think. Well, it was last summer, so somewhere between, I believe, July and August.
Yeah.
June, July, August, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so go back and listen to it, and it's worth it because it's emotional. It's a roller coaster, and it really shares, I think, the rawness of this career and what some of us as law enforcement deal with.
Mhm.
And again, we can laugh at it now, but I couldn't imagine being in the middle of that when you were dealing with it. But so let's talk again, just a little bit, rehash. Where'd you grow up? Kind of give me real brief about your early days in law enforcement.
Yeah, so I grew up in a smaller town in Minnesota here, just right outside of St. Paul. We talked about my grandpa having a big influence on my career choice. He was St. Paul police for many years, and him and I had a really tight bond. So hearing his stories, watching him light up, we talked about that. Como area, talked about how different things were back then compared to now. But, it was hearing his stories and watching how excited he would get is what brought me into law enforcement. So yeah, I got hired right out of college. Started my career young. Started drinking a little heavy, at some of those tougher calls. Alcoholism runs in the family, so went through that, and ultimately the alcohol kind of took control of my life and brought me into some dark moments of depression, suicidal ideation, suicide attempt, and ultimately resulted in me resigning and going to treatment.
So that is a very high level introduction to your history.
Yes.
So something, as you were talking about your grandfather a little bit, just kind of popped in my mind. Did he ever share war stories with you?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything like on the top of your head that he shared that was like, oh my gosh, you could do that back then? Is there anything like that you could share?
I mean, looking back, I think it's not crazy, but one of the things was when they'd pull over someone for DWI, they just take their keys, lock them in the trunk, and you just give them a ride home. That
I,
was it.
I did that in the late 90s.
Yeah, I mean, and I was shocked. I was like, "What?"
You would
You
never
know?
do that today.
No, gosh, no. I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't have the body cams, the dash cam or anything like that. So it was, he would tell me stuff like that, and I would just be shocked. But it makes sense. Things were just so different. But I can't remember of any other crazy stories. Maybe one will come to me in the next hour or so.
If not, we'll just keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly.
We'll keep driving.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So, for those who have listened to those earlier podcast episodes, real quick, and we'll kind of rehash it, but everybody's waiting for the update.
Yeah.
Did you make it?
I made it.
Well, congratulations.
I made it through that 300-meter sprint.
Barely.
Saw my life flash before my eyes, but going through, like I talked to you earlier about going through the academy or skills in Minnesota back when I was 21, 22, and compared to now, it was a little bit of a struggle.
Was it like this?
I was telling you, I was in class, I was in academy with 20-year-olds, and we'd be out for our run, and they're trying to have a conversation with me and I'm like, I can hardly breathe right now, let alone talk to you. But
Shut up.
yeah,
Shut up. I'm
got
focused.
got through it. I mean, I got in great shape. We work out a ton, so yeah, it was a great feeling when I made it through the 300-meter sprint. That's what was holding me up. That's what I was worried about.
So you made it, but now did you make it? Like, are you on your own now?
I am on my own. Made it through FTO, out patrolling, solo patrol, loving it.
So here's a big question for you because I'm a former county guy that went local, and you were former local that went county.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest difference that you've noticed? Now, of course, one was metro, and now you're not quite as metro. So
Right.
what is the biggest difference that you've noticed so far?
Um, the biggest difference is just geography, the jurisdiction. I mean, when you're county, you have a large area that you cover, rather than, being local. I mean, there are bigger cities that, you know, could attest to being as big as a county, but from where I came from, the jurisdiction was huge. And then one of the best things is the take home squad. That's nice.
Yeah, we're still dealing with that.
Yeah, it's nice. You start right in your driveway and clock off in your driveway. It's like I can get used to this.
Yeah, it saves a little gas money.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having a marked squad in your driveway, though?
That's fine.
Maybe where you're at, it's not so much of a security issue.
No. Nope, not across the river that way. The neighbors are, super nice and super supportive, and um yeah, we got cameras just in case, but
Yeah.
no issues there. We're
No,
kind of in the country, so our neighbors are kind of farther away. So it's not like, we're not stacked or close by anybody, but yeah, no, it's no issues there.
Yeah, I mean, times have changed, obviously, in the last 5, 6, 7 years. But
Mhm.
when I did have a take-home car, fully marked squad, my neighbors actually liked it
Oh, I bet.
because it was like I guess in their mind, theft deterrent system.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I would feel now in this environment where I live and work.
Yeah.
I could definitely see the difference with,
Yep.
more of a rural law enforcement agency, but yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to have a marked car at this point in my career. But
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty well perceived. I mean, there's neighbors that down the road that have never waved to me once, and now all of a sudden they're waving at me. So I'm like, oh, I think they're happy.
yeah, are they waving with all fingers?
All five.
Oh, that's
Yep.
good.
Not the one finger salute. Not yet.
You don't have any meth houses in the neighborhood that you're worried about?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Oh no, the neighborhood I live in is pretty quiet. I think there might be a couple rambunctious folks here and there, but we're not too worried around here.
You said the Q word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That might be a problem later. Actually, all I'm worried about today is the snow.
I know. We're about to get blasted.
Oh, yeah. I guess anybody who listens to this will know what date we recorded this because it's all over the news right now.
Exactly.
So, well,
I think it said 1 to 78 inches is the estimate.
I saw that actually on one of the socials earlier, and
Mm.
I'm like, that sounds so totally accurate. I don't know, somewhere between 1 and 78. Yeah, I think that is literally the image I saw.
Oh
So,
man.
let's kind of back up and talk about, we're going to rehash a little bit about the mental health stuff back when you were with the local police department, because one of those pieces that you talked about was a suicide attempt.
Hmm.
And and again, I don't really want to rehash everything. Um, but when a person goes through that, obviously it affects a lot of people. Obviously, the person who's dealing with it, but there's friends, there's family, certainly family members. Maybe significant others that it might be involved. Um, People who maybe didn't know, and all of a sudden it's a shock. I mean, there's all sorts of different levels there.
Yep.
Um, how have those people in your life, like your personal life, how have they been since? Have relationships changed for the positive? Have they changed in some cases maybe for the negative? Or what's your take on being on the other side of that now?
Yeah. I think relationships haven't really changed per se, like how, I'm my friends and my family, but there were conversations after that podcast because not a lot of people knew about that. So,
Even in your family?
yep, like my siblings.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. But it was, and I told them, I'm doing this podcast and there's some stuff on there that is probably going to be surprising, but, this is my way of being honest and, you know, letting you know what I was going through. And my sister, the day she listened to it, she was at work, I think, and she texted me and um, my mom had said she was a little like upset just because like she didn't know that
Like
they
mad, upset,
no, like just
emotional.
emotional. Yeah,
Okay.
I should say emotional, not upset. But she messaged me and just, she said, I did not understand what you were going through. And I'm so sorry that I couldn't have been there for you. And we had a really good conversation. She was a new mother, you know, new marriage. And I told her, I'm like, no, it's not. It wasn't your responsibility. I kept it pretty hidden. And, um, the good thing is I'm doing good now and able to look back and I'm able to use this and tell my story to help others. And she was just like, yeah, that's amazing. And super, just super supportive and just, you know, apologetic. But, I wanted to make sure that she did not need to apologize. And
Yeah, don't bear that weight.
no, absolutely not. And, but it was a good conversation. It was just like, yeah, things were not good, but I'm able to move past that and, you know, use it to my advantage to help others now. And so, yeah, it kind of just, struck some good conversations. I had someone from my past agency even listen to it, and
Uh-oh.
they had no they had some great things to say as well.
Wow.
So a couple of people actually from past agency that listened, and because I'm still friends with people on social media, and I shared it, and I was very open with having people listen to that, obviously, and yeah, they were very proud of how far I've come and the achievements. So that was really nice to hear.
I think the win in this scenario is that just because you're in a dark spot for a time of your life, if it's dealt with appropriately, you don't have to stay there.
No,
And that's a piece that I hope, maybe somebody who's listening to this right now is in that dark spot,
right.
is your story. And I think that's what really attracted me to your story, was that, when we talked last, I certainly felt that things were going in the right direction.
Mhm.
And now we, obviously, as you've already confirmed, they I mean, it's fantastic where
Yeah.
you're at now. Um, but for somebody who might be listening, it's like it doesn't have to stay
No.
dark.
But you feel like it is.
Well,
You
of course.
feel like, in the moment you feel like you're stuck and you don't see that light. But like I said in the last episode, it's like just hang on cuz there's good things coming and I'll say it over and over again that you don't have to stay in the yuck forever.
Hmm. No, I think that's a good thing to walk away with. If somebody who's listening that dealt with this. So when you were in your old department, I'm just for people who may not understand,
Hmm.
you you essentially, if I recall correctly, you resigned potentially in lieu of termination.
Yes.
So just to kind of get out of that. And at the time you were struggling. I remember you making a point of you weren't violating policy, but you weren't
No.
meeting your own personal standards.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe like the only policy would be like attendance, calling in sick
Yeah.
and whatnot, and, calling in sick for the wrong reasons. But as far as like on the job, I never violated policy or anything like that. But yeah, I resigned and checked into treatment shortly after.
Yeah, because you had told, I remember you had said that you'd like lived in a sober house for a while too.
Yep. Over here in St. Paul.
Maybe I drove by it yesterday.
You might have. Right off of Victoria and, gosh, is that Summit?
I wasn't there.
No.
I'll tell you off air where I was at.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say where I actually was at
Oh, yeah.
recording, but I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Uh, so long story short, you went through this crazy roller coaster. You ended up at your current employer. You were out of law enforcement and really thought that was it.
Yep. Tried to get back into it. A few years went by and got some sobriety under my belt and tried out a million different jobs, from construction to cutting grass to dog daycare. And I was like, no, this isn't going to work. Like, I want to get back. I want to get back behind the badge. Um, but, as soon as my pass would come up, it was just, nope,
How many
rejection.
how many departments do you think you applied for that you kept getting rejections from,
Oh,
roughly?
man. Like maybe 5 or 6. I didn't go crazy. Um, I mean, and I didn't go just for patrol. I would try, dispatch and just trying to get back into that. And, when I would go into those interviews, I didn't just lay everything out on the table. But when questions were asked, I didn't lie either. I was just waiting for that opportunity to explain my side of things, but it seemed like it was always too late. So,
Yeah, like decisions had already been made
yeah. Yep.
before an explanation. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
interesting. I want to just because it's like it's cycling through my head right now. I got 100 questions in my head that I want to ask. Um, when that first episode came out and people that you had said hadn't really understood or knew the depth of what you were dealing with. Did you have people? You kind of mentioned that you had some people reach out, but did that episode or those episodes help start conversations because they didn't know and they were inquisitive about it? Or, did some people just feel bad that they didn't know? I guess trying to understand, like, because you were very raw.
Yep.
I remember, when I hit the stop button at the end, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is this is big because I've never had anybody so publicly open their wounds, and say, here it is. This is, like it or leave it. Here's what happened to me. Um, how was that time period for you? Hopefully it was encouraging, but did you have any pushback, like negative pushback as well?
No, I didn't. I didn't have any negative pushback. I think I was a little worried at first just with how um my current department would take it, because they knew my struggles and everything, but like you said, like that episode was pretty raw, and it's not like I went into an interview and was like, this is what I did, on this night I was like doing this, and
Right, right. Yeah, you gave
um
details where I'm assuming in an interview you didn't give
no, and
details. Yeah.
not even to like hide my past, right? It wasn't anything like that, like, but I just didn't know how it was going to be perceived. But I had multiple people, reach out and say, they had no idea what my past was, or even current coworkers. And I was going through the FTO process, and they were like, I listened to your podcast and I'm so happy you're here. Or I had a couple people reach out that were like, I'm struggling just as bad as you are. And, I needed to hear that. And, what did you do that helped? And it started conversations to even get people on the right track. People I've never even met before.
Yeah, that is the I'm trying to like formulate my words because it's cool because when we started doing this podcast, that was the idea is like, let's share some real stories about first responders that people could resonate with, and the feedback that you're, sharing with us right now or with me. Oh, by the way, Brant's not here.
It's not here.
I'm sure people have figured that out by now.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, he had to fly out unexpectedly. But I suppose I should have said that earlier, but I'm sure people figured it out by now because he talks a lot and he knows
Yep.
it. But um, to hear that feedback, that's the whole idea, that the spirit of why we started this podcast was like, let it reach out to people who can either resonate or maybe they're, like I mentioned earlier, like they're in the dark spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you give a lot of people encouragement through your story, which is really cool. Um, so what year were you with that former agency where you ended up resigning? What was the year that you left there?
20, I think it was 2018.
And so here we are in 2026. So we're talking 8 years later.
Yep.
Redemption.
Redemption.
And I think that's a good word for it.
Yeah.
I hope you can borrow that.
All right. That sounds good.
But it's true, right? I mean, you fought the fight, came out the other side much stronger, hopefully some tools,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
but now you are also a resource
Yep.
now. And I think sometimes people wonder, why did I go through this? Right? I've done that in my personal
Oh,
life
yeah. 100%.
because you will be used for someone else. If you allow it to occur and if they're aware of it. And I think for you, your current coworkers who probably had no idea what was going on, like you said, a couple reached out to you. Kind of gives you some sense of purpose there.
Yep.
I hope you feel that way because that's what it looks like from my perspective.
Yeah, it does. And speaking at the Wisconsin Peer Support Conference again this year, I did it last year and then I did it again this year. And it was like, I kind of feel that same way. It's like my purpose, because it took me 8 years to be open about all of this, and it's not an easy thing, but I think the more people that are willing to do it is when we're going to start seeing that change and being able to lean on each other and get that support that you need to get through those dark times and struggles.
So let's talk about the process that you went through. I know we're rehashing a smidge, but so you'd gone into treatment. Was it inpatient or outpatient?
Inpatient.
Okay, inpatient. That's right. We talked. It was Wayzata.
Wayzata, the retreat.
It's funny. You know how many times I've driven by that now, and I'm like, oh, hey, I know that place now.
It's amazing.
Yeah. No, and so treatment was successful for you.
Yes.
Why do you think it was successful for you, and it's not always successful for other people? What do you think what the difference was for you?
Yeah, that's a good question because everybody's story is different. Everyone's body is different. Um, I don't know the exact answer to why it may not be successful for others, but I think when you are really ready to quit and to put the work in and to change, that's when it's going to be successful. Um, I can't say that's 100% factual or not, but I feel that until someone's ready, like ready, it'll work.
And you were.
I was determined to change and get better and, rebuild those relationships with family and trust, and I was willing to do whatever it took, which is why I went to a sober living house. I would have never thought I'd do that in the past because it was an adventure.
Yeah, I again, I got to be careful about my yesterday, but
14 females and a house with 2 bathrooms, and I was living in an attic, but I did it.
I think 14 females in a house, even if it wasn't a sober house, would be a challenge.
It was, oh yeah, but
Do you stay in contact with many of those folks anymore?
a little bit, yeah. We're in a group chat with some people that I was in treatment with. We have one guy's in Hawaii, uh, another one in Colorado, Chicago, here in the cities, and then one in Pennsylvania. And we're on a group text chain, and we probably talk a couple times a month. Just how's everyone doing?
I was gonna
And
say, is everybody doing okay?
yeah, everyone seems to be doing good, going through some, struggles with life right now. Um, one in particular, so we're keeping him in our thoughts, and yeah, it's kind of cool to stay in touch, and see how everyone's doing and check in, and if they need something, they know where to find us.
Well, I mean, you guys went through something together, so there's obviously a connection there. So
Yeah.
that's kind of neat to see. I kind of wondered, I think of other places I've been involved in. I'm like, did everybody just kind of come together for a period of time and just disappear and you never see or hear from them again? But
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty deep personal, I don't want to say adventure, but travel.
Yeah. No, and I mean you're together for however many days, 30 to 45 to 60 days, and you don't have a phone, you don't have TV, so kind of forced to talk to each other. So
That's,
you kind of get to know one another.
yeah, that's not a bad thing. We
No.
should get rid of our TVs and phones now. Forced to
Oh,
talk to each other again.
right?
I know some people that would squirm at that idea. A lot of people who would squirm at that. So let's talk about your current agency. Because we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button, um, that, all things being equal, I don't know of many agencies that would have, and I'm just being very candid, that would have picked you up with your history. Um, what do you think? What do you think that your current employer, where you're at now, why do you think they gave you a chance? I guess that's the question. Why do you think they gave you a chance when nobody else would?
I think, I talked about how I kind of stopped trying to get in to an agency or back into law enforcement. And when we moved over to Wisconsin, I kind of gave up that dream because I just couldn't handle the rejection anymore. And I was like, I think, these dreams are over. I'm not going to get in anywhere. Kind of that it is what it is. I gotta move on because it's not going to happen. And then lo and behold, I meet our neighbors who have a friend over who currently worked with that agency in the jail. He's like, you start talking about your past and, oh, I was in law enforcement, and start telling stories. And he's like, oh, what are you doing now? And why don't you apply over here? No, no, no. I'm not doing
Well,
that.
let me tell you.
I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'm not going through that anymore. I'm like, it's okay. Like, trying to get, be at peace with it. And he's like, I think you should still apply. And, I think you seem like a really good person. And I'm like, well, I am a good person. I know I am. I'm not that same person that I was. But I'm like, as soon as my past comes up, I just keep getting no thanks, right? Thanks, but no thanks. And he kept encouraging me and just give it a try, go into that interview and just be honest, be yourself. And I thought about it, prayed about it, talked to my wife about it, and I was like, all right, this is it. This is like, kind of thought like, what are the chances I meet someone in Wisconsin at the neighbor's house on game night? So I'm like, I'm just going to do it. So ultimately, went in there, got hired in the jail, worked, got promoted pretty quick, and just I felt like I was thriving. I had a really great crew that I supervised. We were doing really good things, and
And were you happy there? Like if you would have never gotten the opportunity to go to the road, would you have been okay with that? I mean, did you feel like you were in the right spot at the right time?
yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike my job at all. I know some people would be like, "Oh, that's bullshit." They No one likes working in the jail, but I really didn't mind it. And I learned a lot, and I kind of wish back when I first started my career, I wish I would have been able to start in a jail setting, because you being that young, and going into this career, you learn how to talk to people. You learn how to talk to inmates. You learn how to handle stressful situations, but time is always kind of on your side. And it was an awesome experience. But I kind of was getting not, well, I'll say bored, not a ton of opportunity to grow, not as many things to do. Um, so when the posting came out for patrol, I was like, oh, kind of wanting to go for it. Like, I think I'm ready.
Were you getting any encouragement at this point, or was this kind of on you? When you saw this posting.
Yeah, it was kind of just on me. And, some people had asked, like, do you ever feel like you're going to go back to the road? Because people knew my past and, that I was on the road before. They didn't know everything that had happened, but they're like, you think you'll go back out on patrol someday? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what I would say is I have no idea. Just focusing on right now, happy to be back, happy to, you know, be behind the badge again, and like I said, I love my crew. I had formed really, really, really great friendships. Um, yeah, it was just kind of, when that posting came out, I went home and I talked to my wife and I was like, I think I'm gonna apply for this. And she's like, really?
I was gonna say, what did she say?
She's like, I mean, you think you'll get it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, if I don't, like, that's okay. I still have a job, like, but I think I want to go for it. Like, I think I want to try. And
Did she encourage you, or did she be like, "Oh, I don't know, Bridget"?
no, she was totally encouraging,
Okay,
because I think because I had a job still. So, like, she was not
you're
like,
not a bum.
yeah, she's like, we don't have to worry about that. But no, she knew I was like, I always kind of wondered, like, if that time would come. And yeah, applied, and here we are.
Oh no, there's a lot more to
There is a
this.
lot more.
There's a lot more to it. You're not getting off the hook that easy.
Yeah.
So interview process.
Yep.
So obviously the administration knows enough about your history because they hired you for the jail.
Yep.
I'm gonna assume, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but the background is probably similar, if not the same.
Yep.
So they know your history. How did that interview process go? I mean, did you have to talk about that stuff some more, explain it, or is it more about like, oh, this is my work ethic from the jail? I mean, or maybe both. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that was obviously on file. And, there was some pushback even getting into the jail. And
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah,
I'm sure. Do you know what kind of pushback they were getting, or that was kind of being directed towards you?
I think just with my past.
I mean,
And
was it anything specific? Like, hey, look, she tried to kill herself. We can't trust her with a gun. I mean, like, I know
no,
that sounds abrasive, but
no,
that's how cops are, right? I mean,
no. And I mean, quite frankly, my past agency wasn't even aware of that.
oh, they weren't.
No, like, I kept that pretty secret
Wow.
for a long time. And
Well, it's out now.
yeah, it's out there.
And you know what though? And I'm kind of being flippant about it because and I apologize for that. I mean, I'm not
Oh,
trying to make it a joke, but I just want to encourage you with the power of forgiveness, and that is real life.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that is real life. And again, I want to keep coming back to you don't have to stay in the dark spot.
No.
And I want to applaud, and I want to call out your agency, not by name because, privacy reasons, but good job, Sheriff. Good job, administration. Not holding somebody who has I don't want to say a questionable past because there's no question what you did, right? I
Right.
mean, but having a dark past, but yet allowing forgiveness, allowing grace, allowing another chance.
Yeah.
So, you know what, Sheriff? I don't know your name specifically. Well, I do, but I'm not going to say it. But good for you. Good for the administration. And, I don't want to say shame on those pushers that were pushing back, but we need a little more grace, in this world.
Yeah.
And so I want to publicly, and I hope they listen to this. I really do. Applaud them for doing the right thing. Now,
Yeah.
your responsibility is to meet those expectations now,
Absolutely. And
right?
that's without a doubt, things are so much different today. When things maybe they haven't yet, but at some point they will. They'll get hard.
Of course.
We'll go on hard calls. We'll go on things that test us, but I have so many tools in the toolbox now, right? I have the biggest thing, my voice. Talk about it. Don't hide. Something's bothering me. We have such a great peer support team at this agency that it's just outstanding.
Are you a part of it?
I am.
Good. I
Yep.
was going to say you should be.
Yeah. That was, one of the things when I first got hired, when I learned about the peer support team. Well, what is it? What does it mean? It's like, wow, you know, Wisconsin's doing it. They're doing it right because at this peer support conference, 550 attendees
Ooh,
just for peer support. I mean, that's a lot. That's huge.
that's big.
So it was, I wanted to get a part of that right away, not only because I wanted to help others, but I wanted to put myself in the middle of the herd. You'll hear that a lot in AA, that put yourself in the middle of the herd so that you have resources right there
Mhm.
all the time. So that was one of my first things was requesting to get a part of that, which is awesome. It's so much fun, and it's just so rewarding to especially when people reach out and they're, struggling.
Yeah.
I've had people call me or text me and it's like, just need to talk. And it's like, good for you. Cause that's hard. It's hard to reach out and say something.
Well, I think society in general, it's super hard. But let's be honest, law enforcement, nope.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because there's so much that is perceived to be at stake. And I say perceived because I think most administrations, including mine, I will give props to mine as well, that they'll support you.
That's awesome. It's getting better.
It is getting better, but like when I started, a few days ago,
Just a couple.
just a few days ago, as my beard is gray. But if you said back in the day, "Hey, I got a drinking problem," you cannot convince me today that you would be told, "Figure it out, but you better not miss your shifts." You know what I mean? It's just and I'm glad. I'm glad it's different. But, you know, 25 years ago, nope.
Right.
Or actually, let's be honest, 25 years ago, some of them were probably going to work drunk,
Oh yeah.
So, um, it's encouraging that's kind of the feedback that you're getting. Um, so during that interview process, because I don't want to leave that.
Yeah.
So did you know going into that there was already some, I'll say, opposition, for lack of better words?
Oh yeah. I didn't know administration on the patrol side as well. Because I worked night shift in the jail, so obviously you don't see a lot of people. But and I was nervous because I didn't know. I was more than willing to talk about things, but it just, anytime you bring up struggles from the past, it's kind of like you just get nervous in general. But there's certain questions, and I was just very honest, and what my future looked like, what all the work that I've put in, what I'm doing now. I think my time in the jail really showed my work ethic. Um, and it was able to prove that I wasn't that same person from before. So, Yeah, did I answer your
Yeah,
question?
no, you did. And here's another thing that you just keyed up on, that I caught. I think another point that is important is that you be honest about it, because in law enforcement, credibility is everything. We know that,
Right.
right? And if you try to bury it and it comes out later, I've done backgrounds.
Yep.
We can deal with it if we talk about it up front. But if I find out something on the back end,
Right.
you're done.
Right.
And I think that's a key that I want people to listen to if they've had this checkered past or dark portion in their past, is just be upfront about it. Because here's the deal: realistically, let's talk this through a little bit. If the department is going to flag you for being too honest, do you really want to work there? I mean, really?
I know.
I mean, think about that.
Right.
It may suck short term because, like, you're getting passed over for jobs, or you want to work here, you want to work there, you want to work here. But if they are going to hold that against you, now mind you, if you're a month out of a struggle, probably a little different story. But like you're saying, you worked. How long were you in the jail? Year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half,
But
18
then
months or
even
so.
before then, right? I mean, I will say from treatment day, that you got out of treatment and then you went to the sober living house, and you were showing progress.
Yep.
I think that's a lot different than, yeah, I just got arrested last week, or really, let's not even make it that big. I
Right.
just got a speeding ticket last week.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, um, but long term, if you have a department that is not willing to understand that, I don't know if I'd want to work there
Right.
personally. Now I'm at a certain point in my career that I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
maybe it's easier said than done when you're in your early 20s, or even yourself when you're kind of getting that second chance. But again, I just I'm excited at the fact that your current agency understood and kind of saw potential there.
Right. And I think, when we did that first podcast, I was a little nervous about, you know, going into, the raw material of the suicide attempt and that point in my life because obviously, going into an interview, it's not like I was like, "Hey, by the way, this is what I did this night." But it was, and I'm like, "Gosh, is this going to be perceived as I wasn't honest?" But I'm like, it didn't affect my job. It wasn't something that I felt like I needed to just put out there. Um, Eventually I knew I wanted to be open about it, but it just wasn't the time. And so I was nervous about that. And, you know, as time went on, after we did the podcast and you released it, the amount of people that talked to me about similar situations that they were in, I
Wow.
was like, it's all worth it. No matter what happens, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't not share it publicly because I'm like seeing how many people are like, listen, like, I had a night that this happened and I did this. And I'm like, dang, like, that's crazy, but I get it. And so, yeah, it was like one of the things that I was like super nervous about for a while, but it didn't change my mind on wanting to share at all.
Not that I have an expectation for this, so I just want to be clear that I'm not like doing a 180 on your admin. Did anybody from admin say anything to you?
Nope.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just like, oh yeah.
and, um, I reached out and told them I was going to be on a podcast
Oh, you
about,
did.
yep.
So
And
you went on the offensive.
yeah.
Let them
And
know.
yeah. And I mean, I don't, because it's not like there's not anything that we talked about that would be quote unquote blindsiding them. But I just like to be transparent and just let them know. I don't want them to be surprised with all of a sudden someone emails them this podcast and they're like, what the heck? What is this? But I was like, hey, I'm going to be on a podcast. Just wanted to let you know, is it, it's going to be published. Is that cool? Like, I'm not going to, and I told them I'm not disclosing the agency or anything like
Correct.
that.
I know that's the biggest thing when we talk to people.
Yeah.
You just don't tell, just don't
Right.
bring up my agency. I'm like, I get it.
Yep.
I don't talk about my own agency.
Right. And they were, when I contacted my admin, he was like, "Yep, just one thing. Make sure you send it to us so we can listen with like a smiley face."
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
Did you?
I think I did. I don't remember honestly, but I think I did. But it was, I mean, I shared it on social media so they could find it easily. But yeah, it was like just letting you know.
So it seems to me that that episodes really kind of gave you a, I don't want to say a platform because that's not necessarily right, but it gave you an opportunity to have conversations where, do you think you would have been able to have those before?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
No, I don't think, I even like I talked about even with my sister, it was
Yeah.
like, well, how do you bring it up?
Right.
Like how do you even like, hey, I got to tell you something. Like, whoa. But
Yeah.
being
Hey,
able to share it on the podcast and like have like a really good conversation and like process it even. Like even for me it was therapeutic because I don't talk about it a lot and
well, you said it right though. How do you bring it up?
yeah.
Hey, there's something I've been wanting to tell you about
Yeah,
myself.
exactly.
Yeah,
So, yeah, no, I don't think those conversations would have happened. And I'm grateful that they've taken place now.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me about this peer support conference that
Oh,
you sent me a text last week
yep.
out of the blue, which I'm totally cool with. I mean, I told you before, text me anytime, and I was happy to see it.
Yep.
Um, but if I remember correctly, it was like, you're nervous. I'm about to speak. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
I think there might even been a pray for me in there.
Yep. Send me a prayer.
So how did that go? And first of all, how did you get involved in this conference?
Yeah. So I was in a training and so I was in a first line supervisor training when I got promoted initially in the jail. And the coordinator, director, they were talking about the peer support conference and it was brought to my attention that they were still looking for a speaker on AODA, um, so alcohol or other drug addiction, and kind of just like struck me, and I was like, oh, and I kind of shared in that training, shared a little bit about my past because I think we were talking about how do you support your employees and whatever. So I shared a little bit, and then conversations kind of started. And would you be willing to present? And
Had you ever presented before on this?
no, never. I mean, I've told my story in front of like 20 people at an AA meeting, of
Yeah.
course, when it's my turn to be the speaker. But
Slightly different circumstances, though.
yeah, we're talking hundreds of people. So yeah, I did that last year for the first time, and I was paired up with someone. So it's 90 minutes, and partnered with another individual who kind of fills in the back of the resources that are available in his company. But yeah, it started last year, and then I was invited back again this year, and I was like, oh, I'll be good. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just telling my story. Like, it's not that hard, right? And for some reason, every time I just get a little nervous. And then once I'm up there, I'm completely fine. But yeah, this year was really good and so many great speakers and opportunities. And multiple people came up after and shared with me how many days, weeks, months they had sober currently. And that was like, to me, that was just outstanding. Like, I was so happy to hear that. And I had another individual reach out to me that was really going through some stuff. And once he heard my story, it really resonated. And now, actually, in the process of hopefully getting them potentially on a plane to get some help.
That's awesome.
So the connections that you make, and yeah, it's a really cool thing. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
And is there a formal organization that this peer support group is? And if so, what is it?
It's just the DOJ Wisconsin statewide peer support
All right. If somebody
conference.
if somebody was listening to this
Hmm.
and they wanted to get a hold of them, how would they do that? Is it just Google?
Yep, Google website. They have
Okay.
their own website. They just they posted the dates for next year, and anybody can. You don't have to be Wisconsin to go to it.
You mean you'd invite us Northerners over there?
I'll invite you. Come on over. It's at the Wisconsin Dells, so I mean,
Oh, hey,
just saying.
I might have to talk to my boss about that
Yep.
one.
Get to go down some slides on company dime.
Yeah.
Hear some amazing speakers too.
Oh yeah, I've
it's-
heard. I've heard that they're pretty good.
It's it's a fun time. It's a really cool networking conference, and I mean, I try to get as much as I can out of it. You know, I'm one of those that go down at 6:30 in the morning. It's the optional, devotion, yoga, or meditation, and I'm like, I'm going. I'm going to everything I can.
Yeah, you lost me at yoga.
Yep, I didn't do the yoga. I'll tell you that, but all the other stuff.
Oh, I could do meditation.
My mom actually came with me this year because it was
Really?
this year was family support. That was kind of like the theme,
Mhm.
and my mom had a dad, obviously, who was in law enforcement. My grandpa had a brother, me, and my brother. So
Maybe I should bring your mom on this podcast.
I mean, I think she would be a great one.
She'd be like, "Oh yeah, it was chaos."
Yep. No, she's got some stories. I'll tell you that. Especially having my grandpa as her dad and how strict and how things were, and
yeah.
it was.
I did an episode last summer, I think it was, where I interviewed the daughter of a trooper, Minnesota State Trooper.
I listened to that.
And it's like, she's a good kid. But she's like, oh yeah, just the stories that she was sharing. I'm like, wow. And so I don't know if you made that connection, but her dad, I used to babysit. Like that's how old I am or how young he is. But well, I shouldn't say that. He's got an 18-year-old daughter now. But
Awesome.
his dad was a cop where I grew up and was the reason why I went into law enforcement.
Oh wow.
So that was the weird, cool connection there.
Yeah.
Was Sam is his name, and he's a trooper, and his dad was, yeah, kind of my I wouldn't say official. He was certainly not official mentor, but was my inspiration for going into law enforcement.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, it was so to be able to interview her was really.
It's like a full circle moment.
It was weird though. It's like I used to like babysit your dad.
Now she's telling you stories
about her dad.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, I mean that's part of the thing that we want to do here is obviously share. That there's a reason why we say stories behind the badge.
Yep.
Is because there's a lot of personal stories, and obviously you're sharing, your story, but there's other perspectives too.
Yep.
My wife, I'm sure, could share some chaotic stories about about our marriage.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. But um, so you're on your own. Are you county-wide?
Yep.
Okay. So how many deputies do you generally have on?
Oh gosh. Now you're really quizzing me. It depends.
This is a pass or fail.
Yeah, this is pass or fail. Oh gosh. Oh, if my boss is listening, just mute this.
Yeah. Okay. I'll mute it.
I'm just kidding. We have like some power shifts, so it varies. Still trying to kind of figure out.
Like for me, I guess what I'm getting at is there 2 or is there 20? I mean, like generally speaking, I'm not
like-
literally going to lock you down on a number.
Let's just say like 7.
Okay.
6, 7.
All right, that's a lot. Oh, jeez.
6, 7.
You just did that. I might have to cut that part out.
I had to do it.
No, that's totally.
I
that's
pulled some people over, and they had some boys in the car. Young boys. I would probably say like maybe
6 or 7.
7th or 8th grade, and they were laughing and
Wait, at their parent getting pulled over?
yes,
That's awesome.
and I was like, well, they're looking at me, and I'm like, I got you going about 6, 7 over the speed limit. And the boys just lost it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
Of course they did.
They were like, "You're so cool," and I was like,
I know.
"Did I really just do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." But you know what?
The
It's that positive connection.
It is. Well, I tell you I'm not one upping you. I'm equaling a funny story. I did you saw Super Troopers?
Yep.
Meow. I literally did that like my last week as a deputy before I went local.
Oh no.
I did the meow thing, and they caught it about 4 or 5 meows into it, and then they just played into it.
That's
So
funny.
it was awesome.
That's pretty good.
Then here's something I'd encourage you to do. Are you working Christmas this year? Do you know?
Oh, Christmas.
Well,
Christmas Day?
if you do, hand out candy canes instead of tickets. Hand out candy canes.
I like
See
that.
how that goes over. I used to do that every year. That was my tradition. Buy
That's a
candy canes and hand them out instead of tickets.
I am working Christmas.
There you go. You can
Alright.
take that one and run with it because somebody needs to continue the tradition because I don't think anybody in my department does.
Alright, I'll do it. I promise.
All right. I want to see a photo.
I will. I can do that.
Oh my
We got
goodness.
we got body cams now, so
That's all
everything
right.
will be right there.
It's okay. Nobody will mind. All right. Well, Bridget, I do want to thank you for coming back. I'm so happy that you actually came to the studio today.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
think
pretty.
The dog's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's a good dog. I get it. Yeah, she wasn't supposed to be up here, but she did come up here for a cameo.
I liked it. It was perfect.
Yeah, I saw you like petting her. I
Yep.
was like, well, okay, I get it. So if anybody heard the tapping, that's what that was.
Yes.
Apparently, I need to cut her claws.
Well, she was happy to be here.
She was.
She took Brand's spot.
Brant's is a hard spot to fill.
She was way quieter though.
Ooh. But no, seriously, Bridget, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. I'm super excited for you. I mean, not that you care, but I'm super proud of the fact that you have come, even just in the short time that we've known each other, to kind of make it back to where you belong.
Yeah.
Thank you to the sheriff and the administration for giving that opportunity. I think that says a lot about your agency. Understanding there's more than just a background.
Yeah.
That there's a story there, and they give you that shot, and now, like I said earlier, it's your responsibility to hold up your end.
Yep.
So, thank you for coming out here. I super appreciate it. If I ever need a guest host, I'll call you, but that's like a long drive.
It's all right. I enjoyed it. I appreciate you having me out here again, and
It's been fun. It's been fun, and I'm glad that we actually got to meet in person. So that's different too. And now we got so much video of you now.
yeah,
You're in trouble.
it's scary. We'll work on getting my mom out here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because does your mom still live in the same area that we talked about earlier?
No.
Oh well, so she's further away now too, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how far it would be from here, but I don't think it's terrible.
All right. Well, thank you, Bridget. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for giving us an update.
Yes.
Keep on keeping on, and do good stuff.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care, everybody. If you want to join us, listen to us, go to our website. That's the easiest place to go. We are underinvestigation.com. You can go under episodes. You can hear everything that we've ever done, recorded, posted. Follow us on the socials, blah, 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 blah. You know the normal thing. But give us a listen and give us a follow and make sure you share us. Take care and have a great week.